How's it going, everyone? Got another real quick impromptu video for you here. A lot of you probably know that what you say matters, and a lot of you are probably watching what you say, which is very good. But did you know that it's also important the way that you tell yourself things? For instance, this comes from the school of Neurolinguistic Programming, by the way. So it matters what you say and how you say it, because the subconscious mind, it doesn't understand not when it gets something that something is. So whether you say, I want to stop biting my fingernails, or I struggled with biting my fingernails for a long time. Finally quit doing it after like 30 years. So it was something, obviously, that was really, really hard for me to do. But with a few weeks of neurolinguistic programming, it's been 3 years since I bit my nails. And the way that I did that was I focused on the positives. I said something along the lines of, I want to grow my fingernails, instead of stop biting nails. Because if you say stop biting your nails, you're sending a focus about biting your nails. And this might seem obvious, and if it is obvious, good for you. That means you have good intuition. But not everybody has an understanding about the inner nature of the subconscious mind. So make sure that whenever you're trying to create a change, that you're doing so in a positive manner. Make sure you're framing it in a positive manner. Another example might be, I want to remain alcohol free, instead of I want to stop drinking. Or I want to be able to relax, instead of I don't want to be so stressed. Try to really think about your statement, because it's essentially a charge that you're putting into the genie lamp. It's a spell that you're stirring into the cauldron. Really think about the consequences of this. And once you have, go ahead and program your subconscious mind with this statement, and make sure that all of your actions are concentric to that statement. Don't be going out and buying a pack of cigarettes if your statement is, I want to heal my lungs. Sounds obvious, but you might be surprised how many people out there are experiencing cognitive dissonance because they are acting in complete opposite, in complete contradiction to what they want. And this is why some people experience existence as futile, because they don't understand that they are going against their own wishes. And this is also a segue into thought forms and egregores or egregores. When you create a thought form, it's a good idea to keep track of it, because a lot of people will either forget about the thought form that they've made, or they will make so many that they have trouble keeping track of them. And then a few months later, a few years later, they're like, everything was great. But all of a sudden, like, man, things aren't going so well. Well, perhaps someone or something has come along in your life that has started influencing you in direct opposition to previous statements of will that you had. I've experienced this myself. I had Peter Pan syndrome a lot growing up as a kid, because I always told myself I'm never going to grow up, because I had the perspective that adults were lost in the day-to-day minutia of things, and that they weren't seeing the bigger picture, and that they were boring and all this and that. So it took me, until I was 21. Drug use probably halted that a little bit too, because my prefrontal cortex wasn't able to develop as well. But I wasn't doing myself any favors, is what I'm saying, by telling myself this statement without imagining the recompense, the consequences of it. And also, once I did want to start maturing and taking responsibility, it was really hard for me to do so. And eventually I learned about neurolinguistic programming, and it just clicked. All of a sudden I was like, I used to tell myself I was never going to grow up, and here I am, trying to work, trying to take care of a house, trying to have a partner, all of these different things. So, number one, make sure you're watching what you say. And two, make sure that if you are going to program yourself that you think about the consequences of that program. Take care and have a good one.